Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Sin's Chat Corner. It is officially Wednesday. Yeah, I had to think a minute. It's officially Wednesday afternoon. Sorry about the short hiatus from, once again, being on the radio. We've had, unfortunately, one tragedy after another tragedy after another tragedy. I've been quite wrapped up in benefits and some friends who've been undergoing some serious things that needed attention recently. So we're back and we're on a roll. I know that today, of course, I'm so blessed and fortunate to have the very young, very talented Nick Tangorra on my show today. Excuse me. Tomorrow is a surprise guest, which I'm not giving away as of yet. And then, of course, on Friday, Tammy Brumbeck, who is, of course, the event coordinator for Lizzie's Ride, which is where I just was a couple of weeks ago, I believe, for the charity bike ride. So we're going to be having her on the show and talking about Lizzie's Ride. So without further ado, let's see if we can get Nick on the line and start talking to him. Hello? Hi, Nick.
Hey, it's Rafe, Nick, and Will.
Hello.
Oh, my God, I have you all at once?
Yeah. The whole
I
day
didn't
is
know
here.
that. Holy crap, I'm going to have you all at one time. That's absolutely wonderful. Thank you guys so much for all coming on at the same time. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
This is really cool. No, not a problem at all, actually. I've heard some very, very good things about you. Bridget says very good things. Anytime Bridget says anything good about anybody, I'm all on board for that. So I decided to listen to your music and kind of learn about you. And so I'm kind of excited, actually. This should be very, very fun. Very fun.
Oh, we're very, very excited, too. Bridget says very nice things about you as well.
Oh, well, good. Thank you so much. I wanted to start off just by saying a few words about Nick. From what I'm hearing, he's slowly but surely becoming an established musical heartthrob at the very young age of 15, which I can't even believe. I don't even remember who my heartthrob was when I was like 15 years old. I'm an old lady, so for me this is like a whole nother element here. So it must be a really amazing feeling to achieve such a status like that in such a short amount of time, obviously.
Absolutely.
I was just going to say, I want to step back and talk about your life just a little bit. Let's go back to maybe to your history so that some of the folks understand. Back at age 6, I know that you had accompanied, of course, your brother to watch him perform in a Colombian folk band. Now, I wanted to ask you what that memory kind of taught you. What did you learn from him, and also what did you learn about that style of music that might be intriguing to you?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, what happened was I had been very jealous because I saw my older brother was hanging out almost every night in the back of a barber shop right outside of our small apartment in Queens. And every night he'd be playing drums and the timbales, and I was very jealous. So I would go over and I started learning the music, and they needed a singer. So out of that, I'm Italian and Irish, so I was singing completely all Spanish music. I have no idea to this day what I was even singing about. But what I really learned about is really just, it's how to get rid of the nerves and performing in front of people and larger crowds. Because even with that, we didn't realize it until really recently, but we performed for thousands of people. And, I don't get how I wasn't that scared back then, but I guess just from doing it and performing at such a young age, starting around 5 years old. So I enjoyed myself. The nerves just went away, I guess.
Now, flipping this to your brother, let's do that. I want to flip it to the opposite side to your brother as far as, here's your brother, and he's taking you along to this kind of experience. Why was that important for you to kind of take Nick, for lack of a better term, maybe under your wing and kind of get him involved with things like this? Why did this matter to you?
Well, I mean, he's my little brother. And,
right.
I mean, everybody that's involved with the band currently, our guitarist, Will, he's a little brother too, and it's so nice to see. The way he interacts with his siblings and the way that me and Nick interact are very, very similar. Me and Nick have a very, very close-knit relationship. We've always been, each other's best friend from day one. And I felt it very important to kind of take him under my wing with that kind of stuff because when you have your best friend right there and you can do something you enjoy with your best friend, that's the best feeling ever. And when your best friend's enjoying doing that with you, it's even more indescribably better than before. So I immediately was like, Nick, you should get involved with this. It's a lot of fun. And, you know, I guess it's like that little brother instinct, like, you know, you want to do what your big brother's doing, but you don't want to give him the glory. And
Sure.
so, you know, we started doing this whole thing together, and we were going around all of, you know, Queens, and we were playing in New Jersey. We did this, like, Colombian festival, and there was thousands of people there. And we're walking up on the stage, and this guy is like yelling out in Spanish, "These kids are Italian," and these kids, there was a group of Korean girls who were in the group and everyone was like, "What is going on?" And then all of a sudden we start playing, and Nick started singing in Spanish, and they started going crazy, and you know, everyone's yelling, "Viva Colombia!" And we're like, "Okay, yeah, sure." We have no idea what's going on, but you know, it was just like, it was an incredible experience. And on top of that, you know, our grandfather was part of we found out after he passed away, he was part of a doo-wop group called the Gems. And, I mean, they weren't like a big deal doo-wop band by any means, but they had a hit. We had found an old cassette tape, and we put it in, and Cousin Brucey's on the air. And he's like talking about, you know, all these doo-wop groups, and he goes, "Oh, and here's the Gems with, you know, whatever song it was on the disc." And me and Nick were like, "Oh my God, we couldn't believe that our grandfather was in a doo-wop group." And, you know, we always felt that in addition to being able to play together and have fun, playing music is a great way for us to kind of reconnect with our grandfather, who we lost at, you know, such a young age, and we feel like it kind of brings us closer to him. And
cool.
It's our way of knowing he's always there.
Sure. Very cool. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to switch it back to Nick for just a minute.
Sure.
I had noticed somewhat later on, Nick, the range of your music that you were able to sing, of course, began to expand, obviously. Salsa, and Latin, and merengue, just to point out just a few. So is it unreasonable to believe, and maybe it's just my own opinion, if I look at you, I would have gathered right off the bat that your forte would have lied closer to pop music, or would that be incorrect?
Well, what we say a lot of the time is our big musical inspirations are Bruno Mars and Carmen. We don't like to go under the title of pop, nor do we like to go under the title as rock or just rap. But what we try to do is we try to incorporate it all into one.
It's like a fusion.
Exactly. I mean, I know Will can explain it best. Will is our guitarist. I'll put him on really quickly, but he'll explain, you know, we don't go after one style of music. We try and combine just basically our favorites and make it our own. So we're definitely very original, but I'll let Will explain it.
Great. Yeah, I think you said it best. I mean, like, along the process of writing, like, the album we're working on right now, like, a lot of times when we'll sit down together, the songs will sound like they were written all at the same time. They go with each other, but I think they all have their individual flavor. Like, a lot of times Nick will just speed rap on a bridge, or, like, me and Rick will really be rocking out on one part. But I think the difference between us that sets us apart from other acts is the fact that Nick is versatile in the sense he can sing and rap. And, like, usually rappers exclusively rap and singers can exclusively belt it out. I think he's a combination of both. And then there's also an emphasis on the instrumentation. I don't think it's just, you know, like, even if we're just in the background playing, all right, the four-chord song. Like, we like to spice things up and do things that are like, whoa, that was weird, where it's not just like a conventional 2-minute, 30-second pop song. Like Nick said, rock, and I think we're trying to incorporate the Bruno Mars doo-woppy feel.
Gotcha. Now, if I were to ask all three of you collectively, if I were to ask all three of you collectively, one of you can answer, all of you can answer. What are your own takes as far as to the fellow youthful musicians that are out there, meaning the ones that are popular and famous, like you mentioned a couple of them right there? What are your impressions of that? I mean, how do you think, you know, you look at some of the, and I don't want to say pop, some of the musicians that are out there that are younger, across the board, what are your own impressions about them?
Well, I mean, it depends. It depends who you're talking about. I mean, obviously we have our group of, you know, singers and songwriters that we kind of look up to. I mean, you talk about Bruno Mars, we're in love with the guy. You talk about Justin Timberlake, and you know, you're talking about one of the greatest performers. You're talking about Ed Sheeran. You're talking about some of the, you know, one of the greatest pop writers that's out right now. You know, it really depends on who you're talking about. I mean, I can't really say I could ever badmouth someone who's doing great in the industry, because whether or not you're the best musician or the best singer, if you're out there and you're doing your thing and people are loving you, I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, I could never knock that, but I can say that there are certain individuals in the industry that we, you know, really look up to.
Okay. Now,
yeah, I
want
to second that.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Do any of you have one particular one that you can name that maybe might be most influential to you or has been since the start of your career musically?
Since the start, I'd have to say Carmen, Amy Heidman, and Nick Noonan. I'm actually, for the longest time, I feel like I discovered them on YouTube because I knew about them before they started getting their billions of views. I knew about them when they were just getting hundreds. And I always thought they were so talented. And I remember seeing them blow up, and they were just, I was so proud. It was a feeling of proud. And then I was in the car one time, and I'll never forget it, and I heard their song on the radio for the first time. And it was very emotional because it was like someone that you feel like basically you've not grown up with because that they've been around for, 15 years I've been alive, but someone that I've been looking up to, I'm seeing, prosper and do what they've wanted to do. So it was definitely a very proud moment. But that's an artist that I've always looked up to, musically and just personality-wise. They're definitely a major impact on my career.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, I wanted to ask this before we start going into the band itself. I know that Nick, obviously, besides the fact that you've done music, straight-out music, one of your secondary creative outlets was discovered in musical theater, where apparently you've been a cumulative part of over 50 community productions. So maybe give your fans, give them a comparative look at the differences between performing on stage theatrically as compared to doing what you're doing right now.
Well, I got to say, I love musical theater, so I'm in love with acting, getting on stage and really just getting on stage and performing for people because that's what I enjoy most. I love putting smiles on people's faces. So, I mean, it's hard to say a difference because, a difference is I'm not getting on stage every night and putting on, a costume, and I'm not playing a role as somebody else. When I get on stage as Nick Tangorra, the band, I am Nick Tangorra, and I'm just me, and what you see is what you get. Whereas on stage, in a play or in musical theater, I'll be, performing the role as somebody else or somebody else's character. But on stage, as a band, performing live like that, that's when you see the real me.
Okay. I think that makes sense. I get it. Do you think there might be a point in time where you might venture back to community theater?
Absolutely. I would love to. Right now, what we're doing is we're focusing on our music. We're focusing on getting the album recorded, music videos, and getting even a tour together this summer. But eventually, I would love to venture back to community theater, and who knows, maybe even Broadway. But I'm waiting for their call.
There you go. Now, as it's relative to the other two of you, have either of you had any experience as it relates to the theater?
This is Will. Personally, I have not. I think the closest I ever came to getting involved in theater was contemplating if I should do stage crew in high school, which I did not even do. So I can't say I have.
Okay. I got it.
Leif here. I actually have had some experience in musical theater. I've been playing pit. I've been playing pit for a lot of shows, like drums and everything in the little pit of musicians, and a lot of it is due to the fact that my brother, like we go back to before, my brother seeing me in the Colombian band, like hanging out and learning how to play drums and wanting to join in. I see him doing these musicals and these plays, and some of them are like really awesome rock operas. Like my favorite musical of all time is Jesus Christ Superstar. And I was like, my dream is to play in the pit for that show and musically direct that show. And I ended up meeting up with like local musical director for a bunch of musicals, and he's like, play this musical, play that musical, play this. And it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot musically, helped me grow, exposed me to a different style. But that's like pretty much the extent of my experience with the theater.
Yeah.
Hello? I think we lost her. Hello? Oh, I think we lost her.
Well, folks, it looks like we seem to somehow have lost our guest here. It looks like I was on, and then all of a sudden they disappeared, and now I'm still on, and they've disappeared. So hopefully with any luck at all, we can try to get these guys back on the line ASAP here, since we're having a good, interesting chat, and things are going really well. Just to remind everybody, today's guest is an individual by the name of Nick Tangorra, and that's spelled Tangorra. Nick is obviously on the show to be talking about his musical career. He's also on the show, and he's discussing things such as his, as he mentioned, upcoming tour. They are working on an album as we speak, and I do know, obviously, that he has a Beautiful Thing, which is the name of his new song that's going to be coming out, and so we're going to be playing that on the show as well. I wanted to remind everybody, in case you have not checked it out, we do have a presence on Facebook, which is obviously Sid's Chat Corner. We're also located on Blog Talk Radio, so you can find us there. And in addition to which, we are also located on Twitter. Same thing applies, of course, to my sister show, which is Sam Crow Radio. And that's all 3 words, Sam Crow Radio. And that is a presence on Facebook as well. It's at Sam Crow Radio on Twitter, and also blogtalkradio.com, and that's /Sam, SAM, CRORADIO. So, without further ado, we want to go ahead and check and see if he happens to be back on the line for us. Hopefully, with any luck at all, they'll be coming back to us momentarily. As I might have mentioned, tomorrow's going to be a surprise guest, so I don't want to give that away. Friday, of course, you don't want to miss it. 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, we're going to be hosting Tammy Brumbeck with Lizzie's Ride. So it looks like we have them back, so let's grab them real quick. Hey, Nick.
Hello?
We all disappeared there. I don't know what happened to everyone. All of a sudden, you were just gone, and I was like,
we were talking
what happened?
Out.
Okay, well, let's try this again. That's very unusual. Okay, well, we'll just go back to talking like we were talking. I wanted to get into a conversation, of course. Your brother, obviously, it was both yourself and your brother that had judged that it was time to go ahead and put together the band itself. So first off, I wanted to ask, how did Will become a formulation or a part of the band itself?
Well, I'll let Rafe take this one because Rafe had met him first and had developed a friendship with him first. Now we're all best friends, but it started with Rafe and Will.
Yeah, me and Will met back. We were playing with an old band that I was in, and he had auditioned for that group, and we've started been playing, and you know, it had just been like we just hit it off, and we really connected on a musical level. And we were like, you know what, why don't we start doing something that's really, really going to be serious? And I introduced Will to my brother, Nick. And at the time, we'd been playing with another guitarist. His name is Tim Holmes. He's an incredible guitarist. But, you know, people's schedules get busy and, you know, people lose contact. But we ended up having Will start playing guitar for Nick. And I think Nick could tell you even better, you know, how much he thinks Will is such a fine fit for the group.
Sure.
Yeah, well, like he said, he met Will, and Will has this personality, I guess, that we all just got so along. And, you know, he naturally had a love for rock music just as Rafe did. But I think we converted him into, you know, our type of genre. And you know, that's what we've been playing now. Will doesn't have that kind of personality that he'd be like, oh, no, I'm not playing that. And very, you know, our personalities really don't clash. So it's all been really great, and we love having Will. And, yeah.
Cool. Okay, now we're going to start with you. So if you could just name for me, for the other 2 band members of yours, tell me one thing that you think that they bring to the band that makes it so successful.
Something that Rafe brings to the band, well, not everybody knows this, but not only does Rafe get on stage and perform and completely kick butt, I'll keep it clean, kick butt, but he totally, like, he does everything behind the scenes. So he'll edit the videos and then upload them to YouTube. Or, you know, he'll be in the talks with this one about getting us maybe this type of show, or, you know, setting things up with fans so that things are always beneficial for us. So Rafe is definitely on stage and backstage doing everything possible to make sure that this project and this band runs smoothly, and only gets bigger and better. So that's definitely one of Rafe's many contributions to this band. What Will brings to the table is not only his amazing guitar skills and everything like that, but definitely his personality. He definitely keeps us all in a good mood. So we could be having the worst day, and Will be sitting on my couch, and I'll get home, and he'll just literally make me laugh like, you know, I forgot all my troubles, I forgot everything. So I think that's definitely beneficial and something that everyone should really have in their life. Someone that's just always going to make them, you know, happy and put them in a good mood. Just like the fans, really. They always know how to put us in such an amazing mood. They're like our best friends. But Rafe and Will, I mean, they contribute so much to this project that, you know, most people wouldn't even know about. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then as far as I was going to say, and as far as yourself, what do you think? I mean, obviously, of course, I know that you're the singer, et cetera, but what do you think that you bring that's most unique to this compilation?
Okay, well, not only am I just getting on stage and performing, but so much goes into it. I mean, I go to school from 7:30 till 3 o'clock. So every morning, that's what's on my agenda. But the minute I get home, there's no more, you know, nap time or, you know, eating something quick. It's literally I have to get on Twitter, tweet the fans, Facebook, and I'm telling you, I'm not even complaining because I love it, and I don't think I would ever call this a job because it's a dream is what it really is. So the fact that I can get up on Twitter and I tweet fans and keep them posted about everything, or we'll be in the studio recording, or we'll be, you know, shooting videos for YouTube and everything like that. So a lot of the times, like, I'll write along with the band, but sometimes I'll take, you know, I'll be like, all right, I'm going to go in this corner in my room for the next 2 hours, and I'm going to write a rap and a chorus and a verse. And then we'll all merge together and write something, and that's how basically we get most of our songs. But so that's something that I'll bring to the table, or we'll be shooting a YouTube video, and I'll write out what I think we should do. And then, you know, we go back and forth, but I guess you could say I'm the one holding the pencil in my hand, if you'd like to say. But I mean, it's hard to say what I bring and what Rafe doesn't, or what Rafe brings and I don't, or what Will brings, and, you know, so we all really we do what's needed to benefit ourselves and each other and the fans, of course.
Of course, definitely. Now, as I understand it, I believe, if I got this right, Tangorras. That's what your fans are called,
Tangorras.
correct?
You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. I want to know exactly what fits the profile of a typical Tangorra. What are you finding as far as your fan base? Is there a typical fan, if you want to call it that?
Well, I don't know if we have a typical fan. I mean, I think they're all just absolutely crazy, and that's, I think, why we love them so much, because they're so supportive. They really are so supportive, and even their families. I mean, moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas, the goldfish, the parrot. They're all just, they come to our shows and they're so supportive and so nice, and they understand the amount of hard work that we put in, you know, and they appreciate it. So that, I mean, I wouldn't say there's a typical fan, because really, we found out just from doing these shows and meeting fans, some of them have the craziest talents, really. I mean, we've met artists, we've met musicians, we've had people be interviewing us, fans interviewing us, and we were in the bathroom at one of our shows at the Emporium, and this girl turns around and just starts singing, and, I mean, she had an incredible voice. Hopefully, maybe we could work something out. You know, maybe we could do a collaboration with a fan.
Sure.
But I mean, she's just one example of, you know, the amount of talent that we've found in our fans. It's really incredible. It's inspiring. But I wouldn't say that we have a typical fan, because I think they're all different.
Okay, I gotcha. Now I want to kind of turn things and flip things over a little bit, because obviously I haven't had the pleasure to be able to meet you, so I can only ascertain some of these things as far as you on a personal level. One of the things that shocked the hell out of me is we got this young man here that I'm talking to, and I'm looking on his page, and I'm discovering that he likes things such as the Mob Wives and Golden Girls. Now, maybe I'm crazy, but a woman in my 40s, such as me, I dig that stuff, so I was kind of like, what's up with that? That seems totally atypical. Does that sound right?
Well, you see, I have this really bad crush on Betty White. And,
oh, my God.
You know, yeah, I love her. She's beautiful, you know, and it's really one of my dreams to meet her, hopefully very soon, because she's gorgeous. I mean, how do you not love Betty White? She's hysterical. She's an amazing actress. She's beautiful. I think my grandma gets a little jealous, though.
Oh,
because
my
like,
goodness
I'll
gracious.
pick it up if you want. And she's like, why do you love me like you love Betty? But,
Oh, my God. Does this mean you like big hands, too?
We had gone to an event because Nick Grandiano, somehow, we happened to all be family friends, and, we had met at a party and got so along. We met with Big Ange. They're all such nice people. And really, so we would watch the show and support them, as friends.
I gotcha. No, I understand perfectly. Now, okay, the other two boys, talk to me a little bit about your personal taste, what you enjoy doing when you've got downtime. What do you like to do?
Well, at my downtime, I love to film. I think that's, that's one of my second loves is filming. I go to college for radio and TV broadcasting, and one of the things that I picked up there was an advanced editing class in film, and I got myself a really nice camera, and a lot of the stuff that's actually on our YouTube page, our covers and everything, our music videos, all that is filmed by myself, and I edit it myself, and I put it up. And it's funny because I'm in the video, and yet I'm shooting it and directing it and editing it, and it's a lot of fun, but it's definitely hard work. And I don't know, it's film. I love watching things being filmed, how everything's made. Like when it comes to movies and TV shows, I don't know. It's just it's a hidden love of mine.
Okay.
But yeah, well, it's not hidden anymore. Now everyone knows. But
this is good. That's great. Thank you. That's awesome. Okay, that leaves.
If I had to pick my other hobbies aside from music, I actually love writing, which is ironic because I do not read at all. I just like writing my own stuff. But I used to be a lot bigger than that. Things have gotten so busy that I feel like I haven't done any of that at all. And then even little things, just enjoying life, like taking a bike ride. I like riding across Long Island on my bike. I used to do that with my dad in the city a lot. And even if it's trying new things, I feel like as a band we're always going out to eat, and we're eating just crazy, ridiculous things. And gotta make time for our ladies on the weekends too. Romantic dates here and there when I can. So.
Oh, my goodness. Listen to that. How cool is that? Now, I want to flip back over to Nick real quickly because I found this interesting, too, because obviously you touched on the Carmen thing. But then when I was looking further, I noticed that, some of the things that you enjoy musically, like as far as Foreigner and Queen and The Doors, it's almost like you're a young man with the old soul, so to speak, kind of runs through your bones.
Absolutely. So, well, my family, I was born into a rock family, so, we would, everywhere we go, we'd be off to, baseball, or we'd be heading into the city, or, we'd be going out to a relative. But anytime we were really just in the house or in the car, it was always rock music. So that's, so you could definitely call me an old soul. But, Rafe loves to play all that kind of music. Classic rock and Led Zeppelin, that's his man crush, that band right there. And, even the drummer, that's Rafe's inspiration. So, for drumming. So, you could definitely call us, all of us, really just old souls.
That is way cool, though, actually, and especially because you're younger, so it's kind of, out of the norm. Now, the big question, because I always have to ask this question, because I'm sure there's individuals out there who are going to listen that aren't as old as me. So they're going to be all, oh, my God, these guys are so hot and I love them so much. So I, of course, have to ask selectively to each and every one of you, is there a Mrs. So-and-so, or not Mrs., but a gal? Are you all dating?
No. I'm single. Rafe, are you single?
Yeah, last time I checked.
Last time he checked. I found on my Twitter the other day, someone tweeted me that I had a girlfriend, and I wrote back, what? Why didn't anybody tell me? And they were like, you don't have to hide it. But so I don't know. I guess you're gonna have to check Twitter and ask some of the girls if I have a girlfriend. I don't think I do, but I don't know. I'm always the last one to find things out.
Well,
so,
I'll tell you this much. If we all did, with that answer, we certainly don't anymore.
Oh, no. Well, you gotta ask, right? It's like chicks are gonna want to know. They're all over that. Always a musician, he's cute, and they gravitate. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. I'm in love with a musician, so I know oh my God, I'm surrounded by you folk all the time. Very cool. So now I can put a big memo out there that the guys in the band are single, and they're looking to go to one of their shows, which we're about to talk about, as a matter of fact. I'm so excited to announce that my very, very dear friend, Gerard McNamee, who has been on my show as well, has actually booked your band to play at Webster Hall, which is that beautiful place that he runs on June 9th, as a matter of fact. Now, to those that have never had the pleasure to visit New York City, Webster Hall is just, it holds within its walls such memorable performances. It's so beautiful, and it's such an iconic place in New York. It's just the place to be. So I'm so proud and so excited that you're going to visit my friend. Now, how exactly does a band such as yourself get booked at such a high-class joint? How did this all come about?
Well, I got to say, a lot of it comes from our fans. They are nuts when it comes to social media, so they will.
Okay.
They will. We could be nobodies, but the hype that they supply us with and the amount of support can make us seem like we're the biggest things going. So just their tweets alone make us look bigger and better than, really, like, I don't know, like sliced bread. So they definitely contribute. And just from the fact that we've played locations just on our own, people have found us and reached out to us about booking. So it's just about getting yourself and your name out there and just performing as much as possible.
I gotcha. And as I understand it, if I got this correctly, and of course I'm not sure, which is why we're asking, now does your band primarily play just in the New York area as it stands, or have you been able to branch out a bit prior to contemplating this tour coming in the summer?
Well, this tour coming up is, right now we are booking the East Coast. However, we are hopefully making it out to the West Coast this summer. So you just, like I said, you have to keep your eyes open, and you never know, really, with us, you never know what you're going to get. So we might find out that tomorrow we can possibly play a show in, Los Angeles, or, and maybe even in Nashville. We got to visit the McCoolmans, so we love them.
I got
you. But,
okay.
Yeah, so like, you just check out nicktangorra.com with our tour information, and you'll see what shows are coming up, and you'll see what shows are being booked, and the day they're booked are the days they'll be on the website.
Gotcha.
We don't like to hide information.
I got it. Now, I've got a couple more questions relative to the band. Now, first of all, I'm always curious to ask, the songs that you create, are they a combination effort, meaning all three of you sit down, brainstorm at a table, and are like, yeah, this is it, this is what's happening, or is that solely one person's responsibility?
No, I mean, we all individually, we'll all individually write our own music. I mean, I wrote a song that I actually got to perform at one of the events that my brother put together, called Rock Out Autism, and it was called Close. And I really sat at the piano and just sang a song that I had just basically finished writing that day. And each of us will individually write music, but like a lot of this time is, Will will come up with a guitar part, and he'll approach us with it, and we're like, oh my God, that's so good. So Rafe will sit behind the drums, start playing, and then we'll all, come together and start writing lyrics and, melodies and the chorus, the bridge. A lot of this, it's really all combined effort. A lot of the time, like I said, with raps and stuff like that, I will go into my room and sit in a corner in the dark, or shut off all the lights, and I'll just play the song over and over and over again until I have the finished product. But not always is that the case. Sometimes, I can't always think straight. I need help, so I get Rafe and Will, and we'll sit down together, and that's what we do. So it's all been a combination of things.
Sure.
And
and do you feel that somewhere down the road that it will be necessary to either add another component, meaning another individual to the band, and collectively, do all three of you play a variety of musical instruments, or is it just set at, this person plays this person plays that?
Well, I think we're pretty set on three of us, because Rafe is my brother, so he's not going anywhere. Will is my best friend. He's not going anywhere. So, you'll never know what comes. Like I said, you never know what's going to come down the road. But I think for right now, it's really just going to be the three of us, and that's what we're happy and best with. But instrument-wise, we all really play everything. I'm learning piano, I play the drums, I play the glockenspiel, the recorder.
Oh, my God.
Can't forget about the recorder. And vocals. Race.
Yeah, and then I play pretty much everything except I don't play any like horn instruments or like violins or nothing. I play guitar, bass, piano, drums, anything you can write, like a modern day song on. And I know Will's the same exact way. He plays guitar, bass, drums, piano. So it's great when you have, when you have a small team like ours, and it's not too many cooks in the kitchen, and we're all able to sit down and we know the parts that we want, and we like, because we all have a specialty. Will's very good at guitar. I'm very good at drums. If Will knows what he wants on drums, he can tell me, and I'm able to give it to him. And just like when I'm like, I hear something on guitar, I can't play it because I'm not the greatest guitarist in the world, but I know what I want because I can play. And Will's like, all right, let me just shred this out real quick. And, we're able to, like, really work together. And, I don't think we could really do this without each other. I think the way that we have it now is just everything's just been working so perfect. And, it's the old saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So there's no reason to change anything that we're doing. Everything seems to just be going so well right now.
Cool.
Yeah,
very, very cool. That's great. Now, I wanted to mention, not only do I find myself fortunate enough.
Hello?
Okay. Hi, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Let's switch gears for just one more time here. Not only am I fortunate enough to be able to spend some time talking about the achievements of the band, but just as proud to mention that I know that your brother serves as co-founder of the project called Rock Out Autism, which helps individuals in Long Island. I thought we could just expound a little bit upon the mission of that entity and why it holds significance to your family.
Yeah, well, great. Can you tell her?
Yeah, basically what happened was I had moved out to Long Island. We had moved out to Long Island here, and I was just starting 7th grade. And for me to have gone my whole, childhood without even knowing what autism was crazy. And, we moved to Long Island, and for some reason, Long Island has become this safe haven for, children who struggle with autism and their families. And I had gone to, a couple friends' house who had younger siblings that had autism, or, or even our neighbors, so they have grandchildren or they have nieces and nephews that are struggling with autism. And I would see them, and, I personally, I could never treat anyone different. It doesn't matter what their affliction is, if they're, if they're crippled, if they're, if they're slow, if they're struggling with autism. It doesn't matter. A human being's a human being. And so I couldn't help but notice, there was something going on there. And I had gone to the local Center for Autism by my house, and I was like, I'd like to volunteer. I'd like to do something. And what was going to be just, a small little benefit concert at a bar, 1 year later and, $15,000 after an event, we were like, whoa, and it was all done by, kids that were just in high school. And because I'd been volunteering for a while, and I started back once I hit, my sophomore year of high school. Things just started blowing up. And in 5 years, we've raised over $100,000 for autism services. And what kind of really pretty much sets us apart from other charities for autism is, you look at Autism Speaks, that's an amazing organization, and their focus is on, raising money to fund a cure, and that's great. And pretty much what Rock Out Autism is about is we're raising money for services for the children that are suffering and their families that are suffering. And this is not just through Long Island. Our home base is Long Island, but this is for throughout the country. We are a nationally recognized 501c3. And we'll raise money for music therapy programs at schools for autism. We'll raise money for peer mentorship programs to get, kids that are, in high school that are looking for a job. What better job and what more fulfilling a job than to be, helping children in need, And that's really what it's all about. I've been a peer mentor, since I moved out to Long Island, and it's absolutely incredible when you see a kid your age and they're on the social skill level, they match like a social skill level of like a 12-year-old, and the best cure so far, for lack of a better word, because there is no cure for autism or treatment, I should say, is peer mentorship, and it's a lot of that reason is because these kids they're paying attention to how others around them are reacting. It's all about their social skills. So if they're going to hang out with another teen that is just going out and having fun, and the way that they'll interact with other teens, they'll pick up on, oh, that's how I'm supposed to be interacting, and that's how they'll really overcome their issues that they struggle with. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to ramble on, and I could talk about autism forever.
That's okay.
But if I could leave you with one thing, it's I had the absolute pleasure of being able to have a boy by the name of Justin Bash in my life, and he is a young boy with autism. He was one of the first kids that I ever met that was so compelled by music, and he had gone home the night after I met him and begged his parents for guitar and guitar lessons. And a year goes by, and I had no idea that this kid was getting guitar lessons on the side. And it took a lot of strength and courage for him to ask. And he was like, you know what, I would love to know if I can open up the show at Rock Out. And so we had him perform. This is a boy with autism, mind you, perform at Rock Out Autism in front of hundreds of people. And he's been doing this now every year. And it's incredible, and it really puts a tear in your eye when you see a kid who barely spoke to anyone, who was very, very introverted, now go up to you, and he doesn't even know who you are, from a hole in the wall, and just say, hey, I'm Justin, and I'm playing I'm playing guitar at Rock Out, and I'm friends with Rafe, and it's just absolutely incredible to see someone who is struggling with that have so much courage and just be able to act like for lack of better words, a normal person, and that's really what moves me, and that's still today what I feel is my work. My hard work with that organization really paying off. That's like my end result that I'll always be happy with.
That's way cool. Thank you so much for explaining that. I thought it was really important, obviously. There's an entertainment side to things, but sometimes, obviously, you do these things for a reason, and I commend you for your efforts. That's just
thank you very much.
Touching. Oh, not a problem at all. So I guess we can chit-chat a little bit here about you're in process, of course, of doing the debut album, so just a couple questions on that. Obviously, what can listeners expect from that, as well as any contemplated ideas to when it's going to be completed?
Well, all I can say is hopefully you guys will have it by the end of the summer or by the middle of the summer. The songs are all written. We've been recording it for such a long time. It's pretty much finished up. What a lot of people don't realize is the business is rough. And, when someone says you got to wait, you got to hold off, you got to listen to them,
Right.
And so right now it's like, the gun's cocked and loaded. We're ready to fire when we get the command. So you guys just got to be on the lookout. And, but I can promise you this, when you come to our show, you can hear all the songs on the album. They're just not per se available online for you to buy. But
sure.
That's what I think is incredible is we have fans that come to the show and our album is not out. They just from coming to the shows, they know all our words to the songs and they sing along, and it's just absolutely incredible. I think that's the most incredible thing. I think Nick and Will could especially agree. There's nothing like hearing a crowd sing along to your work.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. Speaking of which, I thought we'd take a moment just to go ahead and have the listeners listen to the song Beautiful Thing, which is what you obviously had sent over to me. Can maybe one of you explain to me, was there a significant meaning or a message that you, or an inspiration, I should say, that went into this particular song?
Yeah, well, the meaning really behind it all is just really about enjoying yourself and forgetting about the worries. I mean, I know that as a band, and just as people in general, I mean, we have daily struggles, we have worries, you know. Maybe our worries, not everyone can relate to, but everyone goes through a bad day. Everyone goes through a rough time in their life where they really just need that person to put a smile on their face. So what we did with the song is we were hoping that it can be able to have someone listening to this was having a bad day and they decided, you know what, I'm putting on the song, I'm enjoying life. And if you really listen to the lyrics, you know, look into the warm sunshine, you'll be singing this, I needed that, you know. So it's really about just taking a break from your daily struggles, your problems in life, and really just enjoying life and seeing the true beauty behind it.
Definitely. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and we'll play it and we'll see what the listeners think. So this is Beautiful Thing.
Drop down, chill out, give it up 'cause your problems mean nothing now. When you're carefree living it, do you know what living is? Wake up, step out on a rooftop with people from out of town, and you know we're feeling it. 'Cause we're carefree living it. One love follows the movement. Give up the fight you've been losing and open up your blind just a little bit. Listen to the warm sunshine. You'll be singing this. I needed that. I needed that. Just a little break from the world we're fighting back. Start thinking that. Got me thinking that. Maybe this life ain't half bad. Got what you want. You got what you need. Just a little break from the world. Wide anything. Be who you are. Please, 'cause this life is a beautiful thing when you carefree living it. You know already. Long nights, good times, never let the good times end. Let me hear you say, Hakuna Matata, what a wonderful phrase. Yeah, drive slow, blue skies with your feet out the window. I bet you don't know that if you let go of the world you'll see problems you don't even need. You're caught up with people, please, and open up your blind just a little bit. Listen to the warm sunshine, you'll be singing this. I needed that, I needed that. Just a little break from the world we're fighting back. Start thinking that, got me thinking that. Maybe this life ain't half bad. Got what you want, you got what you need. Just a little break from the world, wide anything. Be who you are, do what you please. 'Cause this life is a beautiful thing when you carefree living. Yeah. Do you know what living is? We are young. Why can't you just see that? Before today, tomorrow, you can guarantee that. You got your problems, and I'm sure it's still got mine. We're worrying about the future, but once enjoy the present time. It's like the bad, you know, kind of like a game. Depends on how you play it. Loud and proud, or hide and shame. Go and take your stuff. Who live it up tonight? The smile, the feelings, the proof that everything is well alright. It's life. Okay. It's a beautiful thing.
I needed that. I needed that. Take a little break from the world we're fighting back. Start thinking that. Got me thinking that. Maybe this life ain't
half bad. Got what you want. You got what you need. Take a little break from the world. Wide anything. Be who you are and do what you please. Life is a beautiful thing.
Oh my goodness. Now that I listen to it again, I got something different out of it. I really like that song. It's really kind of I'm in the kitchen and you're dancing around, and it's got a nice little sound to it.
Thank you.
My daughter would love that because my daughter's 18 years old, so that's the kind of thing she listens to. So she'd be all like, oh, Mom, this is absolutely wonderful. There's two things that I want to do before I let you go here. First of all, I want to run through this quickly so that this way everybody knows. I know that you have both a personal page and a musician page on Facebook. I know you're listed on Twitter, which is and that's all one word, which is Nick and Tangorra. And for those that don't know how to spell it, it's Tangorra. Website, www.nicktangorra.com. Your music is also on YouTube. Are there any other social mediums where people can find you?
Yes, you can also follow us on Vine at Ray Tangorra, at Nick Tangorra, and at Will Aaron. It's really just the same as our Twitters. And also Instagram. And, Google us, why not? Is that it? Yeah. And iTunes. You can purchase Beautiful Thing. Now it's on iTunes, so go check it out. And anything else? We covered everything. That's it. Pretty much.
I was just going to say, I would hope we covered absolutely everything. My goodness. Now, I wanted to take, this is customary for my show. At the very end of my show, I always take about 30 seconds or so to tell the guests what I think of them. So this is just my overall impression of all three of you. We'll put it all together collectively for you. I have to say, as I said, first and foremost, you came very highly regarded for my very dear friend Bridget. By the way, thank you, love, so much for bringing me another quality interview, as she always does. So when someone comes to me very highly regarded, I have very little concern as to the quality of their work or as it relates to their personality for that matter. I have to say that I've listened to your music collectively, the three of you, and the productions that you have put together. I like the stage presence that's brought on, not just by the lead performer, but by all three collectively. You can see that this familial sort of arrangement that you have off of the stage is something that resonates on stage, which I think is always such a huge component about being successful in this business. You look like you belong together. You sound well together. You take that combination of singing along with the hip-hop type, and you mesh them both together, which makes you very unique and out of the ordinary, in my opinion, for the younger version singers of today's society. I think that you're very cute, for lack of a better term, all three of you together. You're all handsome gentlemen. Let's put that together. So when you add in the sex appeal as it relates to music and then bringing the compilations that you do, it's a recipe for 100%, if I could talk today, success. I wish you very well. I will be very pissed if you don't come back to my show once you get a little bit bigger or you have anything to promote, because we always like that. I definitely do. And it's been such an absolute joy. I'm elated for you that you're doing such wonderful things. You're very impressive for being so young, and I commend you for that, because not everyone out there is. You're not running around getting busted by the police and your face isn't all over the newspaper. That's refreshing for me. So that gives you high accolades to begin with. So I wish you nothing but success, and please feel free to use this as an open forum to come back anytime you'd like.
Thank you so much.
Oh, not a problem at all. It was absolutely wonderful. And just to let you guys know, now that we're finished, I will go ahead and I'll post up all your information as it relates to website and everything else on my personal page and on my show page. And for any of your fans, if you give them about a half an hour or so, this becomes an archived episode, so they can go back and listen to it at any given point in time all year round, and they can hear you and your music. Yes, it is. So wonderful. So great. I'll let you all go, and you guys have a wonderful day. And please say hi to Gerard for me on your show on the 9th.
Webster Hall is the 8th. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, sweetheart. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, folks, that was my exclusive interview with Nick Tangorra. As I mentioned to you, we'll give you one more time all the ways you can reach him. He has both a Facebook page as well as a personal page on Facebook. He might be at the 5,000 mark limit for friends, so double check and see. www.nicktangorra.com. Twitter handle is and that's all one word, Nick, Tangorra. His music is also on YouTube, and he can also be found on Instagram. Once again, thank you so much, as always, to Bridget Henrietta O'Brien, my absolute favorite person in the whole wide world in New York, my favorite publicist, and one of my favorite friends. Thank you so much for the work that you do and how hard you work at making your clients be successful. And thank you, of course, for bringing them to me each and every time. Thanks again to Nick, as well as to Rafe, and as well as to Will. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your schedule to come onto my show. As I said, tomorrow, just go ahead and watch to see on the show page or Facebook as to who the mystery guest is. And then, of course, Friday, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, Tammy Brembeck, which is the event coordinator for Lizzie's Ride. So I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. You have a great evening.